All right, we are about 8 minutes away from Sully lining those pockets. It's Sully's cocked and loaded pick of the day. 5 o'clock special edition of Who Am I? Because the Tigers are ransacking our broadcast. Durant news. Per Woj, the real one, not the one we have. Golden State star Kevin Durant has declined his $31.5 million player option, become an unrestricted free agent. That's not the interesting part. Here's the interesting part, and think to the things I've told you. Durant and his business manager, Rich Kleiman, are in New York, evaluating free agency options. So far, the process has stayed private. According to sources, Durant is considering a number of scenarios, including a return to Golden State. The Knicks, Nets, Clippers are also to be believed to be in consideration. Durant can sign a 4-year, $164 million deal, remains eligible for 5 at $221 with the Warriors. Now, again, I'm going to go down with the ship here, and that's probably me being bullheaded, but I've said for a year I think he's going to the Knicks. I know what Vegas is saying, that the favorite is the Nets. I know that. I know I might be on a losing horse here. But I'm going to stick with the Knicks. I've said it for a year. I can't change now. But what's really interesting is when you factor in the injury. The Achilles is the single worst injury for an NBA player you can have. So when you look at these two contracts, and again, this is totally absurd. I mean, the money is, none of us can even calculate or tabulate, but 164 or 221. Now, whether I'm offering you $160 or $220, or I'm offering you $16,000 or $22,000, there's a big difference there. We agree, right? There's a massive difference here of $164 million and $221. Why is this relevant? Here's why. Pre-injury, I think it's easier to just take the 164 and roll it back again at 33 and sign another big deal. But if you're Kevin Durant and you have no idea what you're going to be like when you get back, you know you have the worst injury you can have as an NBA player. Is it wrong that I ponder the 5-year deal at 221 versus the 4 at 164, and the Achilles would be the reason why? Take the almost, let me repeat this now. Take the almost $250 million you're being offered as someone whose Achilles exploded weeks ago. Take the $250 million and don't even risk it. Don't even risk it. Versus 164, and you don't know what's on the other side of it. Now, the obvious answer is, and Sully's always good at this, Sully, what has Durant made in his career? This is like the Sully special. Diners serve eggs and bacon with a side of hash brown. Sully serves up career earnings.
187.
So
187 grand his whole career, obviously. Right. I mean, by
so if you've already made 187 million, clearly the difference between 164 and 221, with added context, isn't the same as this is the first money I'm making. But $60 million is $60 million. And it's the same thing with Kawhi. Why would I forego an additional $60 million from Toronto to go somewhere else? The money's the money. But if I blew my Achilles out, I think it at least makes me consider this, where pre-injury it was all about where I want to go and what I want to do. Now, I'll stay that he's leaving. I'll stay with the Knicks. I'm probably on the losing horse. But I think it's really interesting when you look at the Achilles injury. We have no track record of somebody 6'10", perimeter player who has blown an Achilles out and come back. Explosion is a bigger part of his game than Boogie Cousins. There is no guarantee someone's going to make up that money difference 4 years from now. None. You can't tell me there is. So in that sense, I look at it and I go, I'll tell you what, that 221 looks pretty strong. And when you already made a $180, you know what? $400 million in career earnings, not too shabby. And as long as your financial guy isn't a total idiot, you're on your way to $1 billion. You're on your way to owning a team.
Not to mention all of the off-court stuff.
I'm not even factoring it in.
Yeah,
I'm not doing anything
with making more.
No Gatorade, no Powerade, no Nike, no nothing. Nothing. Just the on-court. I don't know. Am I crazy thinking that way, Mike?
No, I think it's definitely a situation where the Warriors have to pay him, of course. And
no, that's not even a question. I'm saying if you're KD,
but it's more money.
You look at things differently now because you're hurt?
Yeah, I think you have to. I think you absolutely have to. I just think that if he does leave and goes to another team, I think we're gonna see that relationship with the Warriors just be kind of hostile. I think there's going to be stuff that comes out. It's going to be really easy to blame the Warriors, to have the Warriors as the enemy, a little rivalry type thing. So that's why I think it's going to be fascinating either way, if he stays or if he leaves. But if he leaves, I think it kind of does get a little ugly.
All right. Now, we'll do this later in the week because Lord knows the 30th can't get here fast enough. Right here, I'm not going to aggregate this. I'm not going to hold you to it. Where does he go? In Mike Sullivan's mind.
Here's Mike Sullivan.
Warriors.
Wow.
I think he'll stay with Golden State.
Now, you set the odds on this.
I know he opted out, but it's irrelevant.
Here's the you set the odds. Ready? You're saying Warriors. I'm saying Knicks. I feel like I'm on the losing pony. What are the odds we are both wrong and he ends up with Brooklyn?
I don't. Maybe they probably know something, but I don't understand how the Nets.
I do.
Makes sense.
They have a jersey that stole a pattern from Coogee, and they look like Biggie out there. They're beautiful. I mean, their jerseys are amazing. I don't like it's Iran. I don't like Barclays as an arena.
No.
I saw a Nets game there a few years back, and I'll be honest, it's pitch black. I don't like it at all. But Mike, it's the idea that he wants to be in New York, and if Kyrie's going to Brooklyn, you're not going to go to the Knicks and be the only guy, right?
Yep.
You can go to Brooklyn, still get every bit of New York. And frankly, the Nets are a lot hotter of a brand right now than the Knicks. The Knicks are in major trouble.
And that's kind of why I think the Knicks are out on KD.
Ooh. Oh, and again, I'm the cello player on the Titanic, and I'm instead of jumping in the boat, I'm letting the water rise up to my waist. I said it for a year. I can't back off it 4 days in.
And it's crazy. I know we're going to probably do this topic later in the week, but both with Kawhi and with KD, you've heard reports.
Kawhi is staying in Toronto. I will not accept otherwise.
You've heard reports for both that, he is for sure in, he is for sure out. You've heard that same thing for both of them, so I don't know.
Oh, the drama. Your vinyl windows took a beating this winter. They're warped, faded, impossible to open.